Well, here he is, Barry Awad, Kid Galahad. What's this about you always in bed by 9 p.m. in the evening?
I'm an early bird, Gareth, and I like to go to bed early because I have to get up very early. And listen, if you don't get the right sleep and don't eat properly, you can, it leads up to injuries and things bad happening, in towards training. And I just, I'm a person. I need my sleep, so I just like to go to bed early. Realistically, what is to do after 9 o'clock?
Well, there's loads of things to do, but I'll let you discover that as you get older.
As an athlete, what is to do? There's not much. You're going to be up to no good, so you might as well go to sleep.
Well, that's fine if you're an athlete, but if you're a player, you have to go out. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so you're obviously not a player, you're an athlete. But you know
Let me
who
tell
you
you,
sound like? Bernard Hopkins. Because Bernard always had that ritual, you know?
let me just tell you, being a player doesn't pay bills, does it? You know, being a player
Dominic
don't.
Ingle, I know. No, it doesn't. It's absolutely the right thing. And it's a very short career, isn't it? So optimizing that,
100%. Listen, the thing is, you need to, like you said, in it, you need to maximize and everything. So everything, boxing is all about, it just like in terms of training and sparring and living the life outside of it. You've got to do everything. You can't be going to the gym and getting punched up. You can't be going in fights and getting punched up because all it's going to do is just shorten your career. And even not eating good is going to shorten your career. Not going to bed, staying up all night is going to shorten your career. You're burning both ends of the candle, aren't you?
Mm. So ordinarily, tonight this is a significant night because Josh Warrington would have been defending the IBF title. It might have been to you, but obviously that belt's now kind of placed vacant. Yourself and Jazza Dickens are going to fight for the belt. When's that going to be? Have you got a date yet?
Well, not yet, Gareth. Well, they've got to the MTK obviously won the purse bid, so they've got till, I think it's this Thursday what's coming, which is the 19th, I think it is. And, it's all got to be signed, sealed, everything, and sent to the IBF or they lose the fight. So I'm just waiting for I'm waiting for them just to send us the contract. Listen, it can't be before 28 days and it can't be after 90 days. So it has to happen before the last week of April.
So that's when you're expecting the fight to take place, sometime in the last week of April, yeah?
No, it has to happen before then. So that's the deadline is last week of April. That's the last night, the day of the 90 days.
And where are you expecting it to be? Have you got any indication of that at the moment?
Nothing yet, Gareth. They haven't said where, what, nothing at all, mate. Nothing at all. Listen, it doesn't matter. It's a fight, innit? And look, I've been waiting for this title shot for a very long time, and I'm not going to let it slip out of my hands. I'm going to bring my own judge, jury, and executioner to the fight.
What does it mean to you to fight this guy? I think he was 16-0 when you beat him earlier in your career as well. You took his undefeated record at the time, and he's a very ambitious fighter again. How do you see this fight with Jazza Dickens going?
Listen, the thing with Jazza is his game, Gareth. Put it this way, Gareth. He's a man that I've already beaten, and he stepped up and boxed me. Josh Warrington vacated the title. Yeah, he might have won the fight that night, but I know in his head he knows he didn't win the fight, and that's why he vacated the title. So you've got to give Jazza you've got to give him credit, aren't you? He's a real old school throwback fighter. Look who he's been in the ring with. At one point, I knew he was going to fight me because he boxed me when he didn't have to box me, early on in his career. And then he went on to fight Ragon Dow, who at the time no one wanted to fight. Everyone was avoiding him. And the only person who stepped up from England was Jazza Dickens. And he went in there, and the fight went how it went. But it doesn't matter. He is a very old school throwback fight where he is gutsy and he will get in there and fight anyone. He don't care, win, lose or draw. He's going in there and he's game. He's not going there just to lie down. He's going in there to win.
Do you think it will come around again that you do face Josh Warrington again somewhere in the belts that he's going to, because he was saying last week when we interviewed with him that I don't want another fight with boring fight. Did you see his quotes? I don't want another boring fight with Kid Galahad or a boring trilogy with Kid Galahad.
Well, Gareth, the thing is, how many exciting fights has he been in?
Oh, well, a few. I mean, I think Frampton was a very exciting fight.
Okay, name me a few.
The Lee Selby fight was exciting as well.
Oh, bloody hell, that wasn't exciting. That was nothing exciting about that fight. There was nothing. You know,
it was just a great night at Ellen Road, kid. It really was. It was a great night.
But the atmosphere might have been good, Gareth, but the fight was crap. And that's the truth in it, Gareth. The only exciting fight he's ever had in his whole career was against a washed-up Frampton who's being battered. You know, like Frampton actually said in an interview, he fell out of love of boxing. And all he did was beat a guy who didn't actually want to be in the ring. And that's the truth in it, Gareth. You know, other than that, what's he done? What exciting fights have he been in? He's never been in no exciting fight, Gareth. He can't crack a fucking egg. You know, all of a sudden, he thinks he's Mike Tyson. He thinks he's Mike Tyson and, what's his name? Conor McGregor rolled into one. You know, I don't know who's been blowing smoke up his arse, but, you know, I don't know. I just think he thinks he's... The thing is, Gareth, in this game, nothing's given to you and you're not entitled to nothing. And he thinks, you know, he's entitled to he thinks that he's in the same footsteps as, you know, the Conor McGregors and the Floyd Mayweathers and, you know, Anthony Joshua's. But you don't understand, Gareth, is these guys are superstars. He's just the star from Leeds, you know, and I just think he feels like he should be that kind of, you know, up there with them, but he's not, and that's the truth behind it. He's not the only featherweight draw who was like that, who was massive, who could do anything, was Nassim Hamed, and you didn't see Nassim Hamed vacating no titles, did you? You know, and that's the truth, Gareth. You know, they want to say whatever they want to say, but at the end of the day, Gareth, this game is not where you start; it's where you finish, and we'll just see, Gareth. He's vacated that title. God knows what they're going to do with him now. You know, and who's he going to go and fight?
Well, Ken Shu, isn't it? That's what Eddie Hearn's looking at. So
and that's like Liverpool winning the Premiership last season and saying, yeah, we're not going to play the Premiership no more. What we're going to do, we're going to just win this FA Cup here. Yeah, we're going to say this FA Cup is a massive title. It's not, you know, what's Kanzu got? A regular title. You know, what is that classified as a world title? No, it's not. You know, that's why the IBF wouldn't even give it a unification, because you don't even classify that title as a big fight. You know, and the thing is, it's like anything. It's like when you play in the Premiership, yeah, you play some big teams and you play some little teams, and that's just how it is, Gareth. And that's the name of the game. When he's trying to put himself up with, you know, the Joe Kawasaki's and the Ricky Attons and, you know, all these big stars who've come from England. For one, they've all travelled. They went to America to fight these big fights, which he won't do. Number two, you know, did Joe Kawasaki and Ricky Hatton have a big fight every single fight? There wasn't, you know, how many fights did Ricky Hatton have before he boxed Mayweather or before he boxed Costa Zoo? He boxed about 10 or 12 people that we didn't really know, because that's just how it is, Gareth. You know, that's just the name of the game. You know, you can't have high profile fight after fight after fight. It just doesn't work like that, Gareth. What does he want? He thinks he's gonna have high profile. It doesn't work like that, Gareth. You know, and you know, anyone who's been in the fighting game for a long time knows that's how it is. You know, and your mandatories is the thing that you've got to do. It's just like, you know, I've heard a lot of people saying, yeah, what he did was right, you know, because he doesn't really want to fight Kid Galahad. You know, what he's done was right. He might as well vacate that title. Well, if that's the case, then Anthony Joshua and might as well vacate his titles, and Tyson Fury and Canelo might as well vacate their title and just fight someone for, you know, I'm fine. Canelo might as well just fight, you know, Billy Joe for nothing, because he's Billy Joe and he's Canelo. Would it sell as much? Of course it wouldn't. Would Anthony Joshua sell as big? Would Anthony Joshua against Tyson Fury be a bigger fight if it wasn't for unification? Of course it wouldn't.
Or the undisputed.
Exactly, it's common sense. So it doesn't matter what people say and try to, you know, sugarcoat it. What he did was wrong, and that's it. You know, he
So you ideally for you, you'd have been like to have been fighting again because you believe obviously it was a split decision. You believe you won the first time, don't you?
Yeah, Gareth, I promise you now, Gareth, the second fight, I know 100% he knew he lost the first one, and he knew the second fight wouldn't have not even been anywhere close. And look, when Eddie Hearn come up to me, I think when he signed with Eddie Hearn, the plan was, before he signed with Eddie Hearn, the plan was, Gareth, was I get this, mandatory spot against Claudio Moro. At the time, was a very dangerous fighter. I took the fight because it was going to give me another shot straight away at Josh Warrington. So then I boxed him. Then a couple of days later, Eddie Hearn signs Josh Warrington. So he signs Josh Warrington. Then all of a sudden, he's like, he wants a unification. Trying to get me a unification fight. He goes to the IBF, asks for extension. They give him extension to September or December. So basically they said, look, you can have this unification to September, December, but the winner has to fight Kid Galahad before February the 29th. Everyone agreed on it because I had to agree on it because it doesn't matter. The IBF have given the sanction. So then I think it might have been September, Eddie must have rang me and said, we'll give you someone to step aside. I've got this Kanzu fight and it's going to happen the last week of January. The last week of January, the first week of February. I'm going to give you some money, blah, blah, blah. Just do me this favor. I says, no worries, Eddie. So I said, I'll step aside as long, because he says to me, look, he's not going to fight. He's going to vacate the title. He says, no matter what, he's never, ever going to fight you again. So I said to him, all right, no worries. Then 4 weeks before, I think it might have been, so then in December, the IBF sent a message and go, dear Eddie Hearn, they've sent us, all of us, I've got the emails on my phone, and it just basically says, look, dear Eddie Hearn, you've not given us a date or venue for Kid Galahad, venue for this unification. So we're going to call for the pace bid for Kid Galahad against Josh Warrington. And I just thought to myself, why am I waiting, if this fight's going to happen? So Eddie Hearn messaging back saying, we've got an agreement. Josh Warrington, Kid Galahad's going to step aside on the January the 30th. I says, no worries, I'll step aside. So then I think 4 weeks before, just after Christmas, Eddie Hearn rings me up and goes, look, this Kanzu fight's not going to happen. We're going to get someone else in. I went, yeah, I'll step in and fight him. He goes, no. He says he's not going to fight you. He goes, just do me a favour. You just step aside and let him fight this other kid. Then he's going to, within 48 hours, he's going to vacate the title. Then you can fight Jazza Dickens. I've got it all signed up and everything else. And I said, Eddie, look, I'm not stepping aside. He goes, look, I don't want to be thingy with you. I can make it awkward and everything else. Basically, just trying to give me like little threats and whatever. I said, Eddie, look, no matter what you say, I'm not stepping aside. If he's not fighting Kanzu, he can fight me next. Why does he need to fight this kid for? This kid's not even in the reins.
So the bottom line is that you feel that he's running away from you.
Exactly. And it's not even that I'm feeling it. It's a fact. It's a known fact. Everyone knows that, Gareth, he doesn't want to be near me anywhere near. Gareth, trust me, let me just tell you, he knows when we get in that ring, I promise you now, and we will fight again because he's got nowhere else to go. Where is he going to go? We will fight again. And then when we get in that ring, I promise you now, Gareth, he's going to get the worst beating. I'm going to retire him.
So are you in camp already for this fight with Jazza Dickens? Because obviously you want to keep on course. Once you've got that belt, it changes the parameters for you as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course it does. Listen, Gareth, I've been training since my last fight. I've been in camp, during all this lockdown, I've been in camp. And I do live the life. So all I needed was a 4 week or 2 week notice. Even when that kid pulled out for the Warrington fight, Kanzu, which he didn't actually pull out because the fight was never made. It was never made to him to pull out. Do you know what I mean? I said to Eddie, I'll step in. He goes, it's only 4 weeks. I said, Eddie, I'll be ready for 4 weeks. Let me fight.
So you've been in camp the whole time, really?
I went, then the winner can go and fight Kanzu. I said, what's the deal? What does it matter? He goes, listen, he says to me, look, I'm never, ever getting in the ring with Kid Galahad. No matter what you do, he goes, even if you give me £1 million, I'm not getting in that ring and fighting him ever again. you know, and that was it really. That was the story of it. I'm ready for Jazza, you know. I know what Jazza brings. I've done 50, 60 rounds with Jazza. I know what he's like. I know his game. He knows what I'm like. And I just believe, you know, I'm a bit better than him in every department, you know, and it's not gonna be an easy night's work for me. I know that it's gonna be, you know, it probably is just gonna be tough or as tougher than the first fight. Because I know what Jazza brings, you know. He's disciplined, he's dedicated, you know, he lives the life. He's not one of these fighters, you know, who you know, after fights blows up and eats a load and drinks, and he does live the life. I just believe I live the life a little bit better than him, and I believe, you know, I'm better than him in every department.
Does the fact that Liam Williams is going to be likely having his fight with Bubu Andrade around the same time affect how Dom Ingle will be? And how is it going to be with both of you in camp leading into fights? Because there's a great atmosphere. You can see it in all the videos. There's a great atmosphere in the Ingle Gym, isn't there?
The thing is, we've got a few good kids coming through. You know, we've got this little kid in the gym. His name's Tony Curtis, who's a very good. He's only about 13 or 14 years old. He's a very good kid who's going to come through. And then obviously we've got Robbie Davies Jr. fighting next week, and I think he's just fighting. I think it might be for a title at IBF or WBA Intercontinental title. He's looking good, you know. And then we've got the next kid who's coming through the gym named Willie Hutchinson, and he's the next Gypsy King. Trust me.
Traveller, I know about Willie Hutchinson. Yeah.
And he is unbelievable. He's gonna be. I think he might end up being the best from all the travellers I've known over the years. I think he might end up, you know, it's going to be hard to beat Tyson Fury and Billy Joe Saunders, but I believe this kid's got the potential to be.
What is it about him?
He can do you know, the thing with Willie Hutchinson is he can just do everything. You know, he can box, he can fight, he's game, he can punch, you know, and he's just...
And he's bred into it. They're bred into it, aren't they? So, you know.
He, honestly, at 22... he is better than me and Kel put together.
Wow.
And I've said that to him. I said, all you've got to do is just stay focused. And I said, trust me, Willie. I said, you'll end up better than all of us. All you've got to do is just listen to Dom and stay focused, and you'll end up better than us. And, you know, and obviously I'm fighting for the IBF world title, and Liam Williams is fighting for the world title. So the gym's buzzing, you know, and we're just, you know, we've all been in training since, you know, the first lockdown, because obviously I knew I was my next fight was for the world title, and, you know, Willie knew he's going to be next in line for the British title, and, you know, Liam Williams knew he was going to be in for the world title. Everyone knew we had big fights, so we all stayed focused and we all keep each other, you know. Listen, when you're in that gym, in the Ingle Gym, and you're sparring, you can't afford to, you know, have 2 weeks off and come back, because when you get back, we only body spar in our gym. You're going to get battered. And trust me, you know, that body sparring, it's just, it really, really hurts if you've been messing about and you've come back in, or you took a few weeks off and you come back in. Even the little kids, they're trying to kill you. And it's just one of them ones, everyone's keeping each other on the toes, and that's how it is. You've got to be on it all the time in that gym.
Listen, you're 7 with the WBC, you're 5 with the WBO, yeah?
Yeah.
So when that fight comes around with James Dickens and you become IBF champion, if you beat him, when and if you beat him, are you going to be chasing Gary Russell Jr. and Navarrete and Canshu yourself?
Yeah, of course. But the thing is, Gareth, I'm not really looking that far down the line. All my eyes is on Jazza Dickens and winning that IBF title, you know. I don't look that further on. You know, at the end of the day, if I don't win that fight, then fights won't happen. So all I'm focused on is going in there and doing a number on Jazza Dickens, which is going to be a very, very tough night. That's all I'm thinking about. I don't think about what I'm going to do the day after the fight, let alone, you know, fight whoever after the fight. I'm not even thinking that. All I'm thinking about is getting in there and doing a number on Jazza Dickens.
Finally, I've seen Liam Williams and Dom Ingle kind of using I've seen them recently in a wrestling jiu-jitsu competition. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dom gets taken to the ground, pulls a butterfly guard,
Yeah.
and he's very comfortable. Liam struggles to get him to the ground. Do you get involved in this wrestling as well?
Yeah, over the years, me and Dominic have had a very few
Tussles.
me and Dom have had a few. And, you know, I'm just saying I'm a fighter. I fight. You know, I'm not a wrestler. And, you know, Dom wants to have a wrestle because Dom's strong when you get into that, you know, in that little wrestle with Dom, he's strong like an ox, you know. So I'll just say to Dom, listen, let's not have a little wrestle. Let's put gloves on and get in ring. And he don't want it. You know, he just wants to have a little wrestle.
Would you smack him around a little bit then if you boxed together? Would you smack him around or not?
The last time I ever sparred Dominic Ingle, I was about 16 or 17. And he used to spar all the time. We only body spar in that gym, and he used to batter me all the time. And I got about 18, 19 years old. And once I sparred with him, and I got topside him. And after that, he'd never, ever get in the ring again with me.
That's about 10, 12 years ago, yeah?
That's 10, 12 years ago. But you know what? He don't get in the ring with me, but he gets in the ring with a lot of other people. You know, he's good at picking and choosing his fights, Dominic is.
You mentioned Carl Frampton there. Before I let you go, obviously he's got a very important fight for himself coming up with Jamel Herring. He's not weight drained at super feather, obviously. Jamel is a very big guy, 5'10" and a half. You know.
Yeah.
You said that Carl was struggling in that fight against Warrington.
Yeah.
How do you see Carl now? Do you think he's got the chance to be a 3-weight world champion, one of the first Irishmen ever?
I don't know. You know, I don't. The thing is with Carl, I just feel like he's left. It's not the weight. The thing with Carl, it's not the weight issue. I just feel like he's lost the discipline and the dedication and the grit. You know, like when have we seen Carl Frampton in good shape in the last 3 or 4 years? You know, when he was with Barry McGuigan and Shane McGuigan, he was in fantastic shape. When he come into the ring, he was ripped and ready, and he was absolutely, chiseled down to the bone at super bantamweight and at featherweight. You know, since he's left that gym, every fight I've looked at him, he just looks smooth. His conditioning is not good. You know, his boxing IQ is not. Everything's just. I don't know. I just feel like he's not doing it because he loves the sport anymore. He's just doing it trying to become the best Irish fighter, to be, to say, oh, look, Barry, I'm better than you. You know, he took it personal. Look, Barry, I'm better than you. I'm the best Irish fighter. You know, to come out of Ireland. Hello?
I'm here. Yeah.
So I'm the best Irish fighter to come out of Ireland, kind of thing. And, I just feel like he doesn't want to be in boxing no more. And I just feel like he's just doing it because he's good at it. You know, he probably needs the money. And where else is he gonna make that kind of money doing that? He's never gonna make that kind of money anywhere else. No matter what he does, if he becomes a YouTuber or anything else, he's not gonna do that. And I just believe, believe that the kid, what's his name again, what's his name?
Jamel Herring, yeah.
I just feel like he's physically not the biggest. He's not a big super bantamweight, super featherweight. Sorry. The biggest super featherweight is the kid who Valdez is fighting. You know, Valdez is fighting.
Burchelt, Miguel Burchelt. Yeah, he's massive, very powerful. Yeah.
Massive for super featherweight. Yeah. I just believe Heard's a bit long and lean and tall, and I just can't see Frampton winning it. I hope he does, but yeah. I just don't think he will. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like. I don't know, with him, he just doesn't. He's not the same Carl Frampton. The last Carl Frampton we've seen what was good was the one when he boxed Leo Santa Cruz in the first fight. We've never seen him anywhere near that, for the last, the last probably 6 or 7 fights. He's looked nothing like that no more. I don't know what's happened or what it is, but, that's what needs to come out when he fights that kid to beat him. And I don't think he's got it in him. I think it might be, a little bit nip and tuck fight, but I just think the kid will beat him.
Final one from me today, and he's a friend of yours. How does Billy Joe Saunders go against Canelo if that fight does get signed in the next couple of weeks, or is confirmed? We know it's pretty much going to happen May the 8th.
I spoke to Billy and he said to me, it's more or less, you know, it's a done deal. The thing with Billy Joe, look, you know, Billy Joe, this is the best Billy Joe you're going to ever see, because when Billy Joe, when the odds are against him, that's when you see the best Billy Joe. When he boxed David Lemieux, he had to go out to Canada, fight David Lemieux in his own home garden. And that's why you're seeing the best of Billy Joe. All these other fights, what Billy Joe's boxing, it's always been in his own garden, in his own, you know, so he doesn't really, he knows as long as he wins 7 rounds, he's won the fight kind of thing, or 6 rounds, you know, because he's the home fighter. But when you see Billy Joe, when the odds against them, trust me, that's when you'll see the best Billy Joe. And I just believe, you know, Billy Joe isn't like all these other fighters that Canelo's boxed. You know, the last person Canelo's boxed who's very similar to Billy Joe is Laura. And, you know, realistically, you know, he actually lost that fight against Laura.
I was at that. It was a very close fight. I think I scored it a draw, actually.
Yeah, and I believe, you know, the thing with Billy Joe is, you know, Laura's only, you know, Laura's is a welterweight who's fighting light middle.
Yeah.
And I believe Billy Joe is just, you know, he's just like he's a guy, he knows every trick in the book, and he's so clever in terms of, like, you know, when you're in that ring, defensively, he's unbelievable, and offensively, he's very good as well. But
Kid, when he was up there in the Ingle Gym, did you have little spars together?
Yeah, we used to always follow Billy Joe, and like Billy Joe was just one of them guys. He's like you know what it is? He can be in there and he can make someone lose a fight without actually really doing nothing, just conning and killing them. Do you know what I mean? And that's the best thing about Billy Joe. He can be there and make out like he's winning a fight without him actually doing nothing. And that's his skill. Like, he just, you know, it's hard to explain with Billy Joe. He's probably, since Nassim Hamed, I would say he is the most skillful fighter at the Ingle Gym ever. You know, him and, you know, he's a better version of Harold Bomber.
Fascinating stuff. It's always brilliant to talk to you. Thanks very much, my friend. Stay fit. Don't get COVID. Wear your mask. Let's see you claim the world title.
Very much, and God bless it. Gareth, when I bring that world title, we'll do a Zoom call, me and you, and I'll have it on there like that, Gareth.
Nice.
You're a man.